What a disaster. Alright. I almost built the RUDICON right, but there's a couple things I didn't do right, and we need to redo them for me to be content. And I'm not asking for much, I'm just asking for clearance for 40s or 42s. If we clear for 42s, we'll fit 40s. I built this this tire opening perfectly not the correct size. And what I mean by that is it rubs everywhere, but it won't go any further than that. And it's kind of a problem because it bothers me. And so I want it to not rub anywhere. If I got new tires, it would rub a lot. These ones are kind of worn, so it doesn't rub a lot, but it still rubs. That's what we're gonna be redoing today. So because this tire is touching, we could go the obvious route of getting smaller tires, but I don't wanna do that. I wanna keep these ones, and I wanna put new ones on later. So to do that, we're gonna open that wheel well up and kind of do what I was always supposed to, but just didn't. On the way back to the shop, I'm gonna show you another problem that I have never resolved on the RUDICON, and we'll also be fixing that today as well. It has to do with mud. I don't like mud. Mud is dirty and it's messy and it's not good, not good. So this is the other thing that I was talking about that never really got done. So these fenders have huge gaping holes in them, and it lets water and snow and mud get in. It's just not good, not good. Not to mention my heater just goes right out, gets sucked out pretty much. Let me show you what happens when I go through like a moderate mud puddle. So the reason the fenders aren't any bigger than they, I guess, need to be is because I was trying to retain the factory fuel spot, and as you can see, I literally can't go any further. Like, that is it. As well as when I measured it all out, I measured it and calculated that it would fit, but the problem is tires aren't always the size they say they are. They're often a little smaller or a little bit bigger. So even though it's a 40-inch tire, it can change. It's usually pretty specific from brand to brand, but this one's actually pretty solid 40. As I showed you earlier, the tire actually fits in there perfectly, just not big enough. It flexes on the top and it touches up here and rubs the paint off, and I don't want any of that. I've also been doing a ton of thinking on how I'm going to seal this, because my shock towers come clear up in basically under the window. I didn't know exactly how I was going to terminate that and still be able to get the shock out, and I've decided it's just going to be fastest and easiest just to get rid of all of that. So we'll get cutting and then we'll get measuring and figure it out. While I'm getting everything worked out for the fenders and kind of cleaned up, Janelle is going to be removing the stickers of the half-done RUDICON that have been on for a long time, and she's going to do it happily.
Yeah.
Okay.
These have been on way too long, to the point where they really don't want to come off. Look at that. This is some pretty impressive painter's tape we got on here though.
One of the things that's really nice about always being out of gas is when you need to remove your fuel tank, it's pretty light. So I'm gonna remove the fuel tank just to get it out of my way. It's a really sketchy setup, but don't worry, I'm at risk, you are not. Whoever did this did it right, I guess. I accidentally splashed fuel out. Look at that.
1 year later.
It's temporary, all right? There's a lot more fuel in this than I thought there was. To be completely honest, I'm waiting to get paid so that I can buy a new fuel tank for this. That's all.
Okay, so I got the tape off to this extent, but because the tape has been on there for literally a year, it does not want to come off. But no worries, because that's what we have brake cleaner for. That's not working quite as well as I thought it would. Word for the wise, don't leave painter's tape on for over a year. It's not gonna come off. Boom. Done.
Got the foam all out. Now we can start getting these old fenders cut out and start over. So let me show you something. So the way these fenders are, I know the tire touches here, I know the tire touches here, and I know the tire touches there. I can't cut into this anymore because I'm already at the limit. So I need to slide the axle back. So that means whatever distance I go back, I should probably do double of because I'll be sliding the axle back anyway. So say that this needs to go curved. We'll go all the way along this line, and then we'll come back a little further, and then we'll go down, something like that. So we'll get this shape cut out for the tire and get this fender out, and then we'll start to see what shapes we need to make to put a new fender in. We're gonna take that off. Don't need that anymore. Probably not as much as you think there is holding this together. I don't know why I cut those off. So, one thing you don't know about me, when I use a hammer, this end is for destruction and this end is for precision. So I grabbed this one for precision work here. It's good. It's a good day when you don't need the hammer. Junk. Wow, that's like, why does that look so much more opened up? I need to get rid of this thing. You want to pull this thing out so I don't cut into it wrong?
I'd love to.
Great, perfect.
Nice.
Looks like this is gonna be a problem. I'm gonna start cutting this line out until I get to something that seems tricky, and then I'll stop and contemplate. Yep. Nice. Just trying to break this free. This is where the fuel neck was before, and the other side doesn't have it, so it's gonna be easy to do that side. But this side, it's a really big problem, and it's in my way. So we're persuading it to leave. It doesn't like persuasion though, because it shouldn't really want to be here anymore. There's nothing left.
I hope you like it. There's no going back now.
Sure there is. I got all the pieces. You just weld it back together. Now I'll get this cut the way it's supposed to, and then we can actually get shaping the opening, and then we'll be able to get our pieces of metal in there. It's a really big opening. Oh, this is gonna take a bit of work. Here's the plan. I had Janelle remove the seat belts. Now we're just gonna do a solid sheet of metal from basically this point all the way to the front. We'll be able to weld that up solid. From there, we'll have some fancy angles to bend properly, and then we'll sheet from the top of this plate over. And that'll just keep everything in here. I think simplified, it'll use more continuous sheets rather than we just piecing a bunch of Legos together. It wouldn't be like Legos, it'd be like a really hard puzzle. Like the hardest puzzle ever. The best thing about this puzzle though is that I get to make the pieces. Bad part is I have to make the pieces. So I usually don't know if I made the right piece or not. And then once I get that all figured out, we'll be able to build whatever fender piece inside here appropriately and figure it out. So I'll go into the office and draw up the piece I think I need. We'll get one cut out, see if it's close. If it's not, that's unfortunate. But if it is, then we'll work with it. We're gonna give this a go. First see if it lines up. Well, that is good. It's really good. Okay, now we're going out on a limb here. Let's do it. Almost died. Sheesh. I should clean this shop up. too much. Looks like too much. Not hating. I need a marker. Thank you. That red is completely wrong. I know what we're gonna do about it? Nothing. Nothing for now. How's that look anyway?
It's looking like it could be something good.
How it's sitting right now just might be how it gets welded in. Looks kind of cool actually. Now that's in, we need to finish the rest. And by the rest, I mean everything else. This next piece I'm gonna work on actually gets mounted to the Jeep and it goes right here. Like it goes on this thing. So that's what we need to do. It's not bad. I don't know where I went wrong with that measurement, but here we are. Oh, I knew I should have measured that. I don't know why I do some things. I don't know. I might redo this piece. This piece needs help. But this piece, right in here, looks pretty good. It's hard to mess up a piece that's like that. All right, cool. Pretty happy with what we did get done today, even though we started pretty late. I need to get driving home because if you look at the conditions, things are not looking good. I got places to be tomorrow. Can't have it snowing. We got pretty far tonight. Pretty happy with it. I got that big main piece made. This piece right here that goes like this, kind of figured out. And then one other small piece. And then after that, I think we have 3 more pieces to finish it. And then we can cut them all out and do the same thing on the other side. And that should go a lot faster. Anyway, I'll see you in the morning. All right, so good morning. Sorry about the heaters. It's just cold in here, so we're warming it up. Let me show you what we got going on. So we have this sheet, and now we need to place a piece here, place a piece here, and then place a piece over here. And after we place all those pieces, we'll be able to, I guess, stitch it all up, weld it up, see how everything fits. I just got this piece made, and it is the top plate for this, and it just needs to slide in. It just slides down in, and it looks good, fits good while doing it. Right there. We got a majority of this fender tacked in place. It's kind of playing with the reservoir a little bit on these shocks just to see where I can fit them. And I kind of like that spot. And then lastly, we're gonna need a piece from here all the way up and down. It's only gonna be around 5 inches long. It's gonna be mostly square. Thinking about doing something with this door because this little sliver bothers me, but we'll deal with that another day. 4 5/8 by 4 5/8 by the time I pull that back over. So this section right here. So this section, this is contained, the top is contained. It's just from here to here is not. And we're gonna put a piece in there and it's gonna have the curve on it and everything. I'm just going flush to the body. We'll do fenders later. And by that, I mean, I'm gonna make a piece that bolts in and out. So depending on if it's snowy or muddy, I can just slap them on. Even though I'll probably never do that. I'll have them at least. Oh, wow. 20, and I don't even need a tape measure for that. So that's 20. Now we need to bend this curve. And that's how I measure curves. Let's go. So we're gonna... Looks fine. So we need to bend it. Should I just bend it by hand? Might be too much. It's not too much, it's just in the wrong spot. I'm not gonna mark it, I'm just gonna guess. We'll need to trim it. Test fit again. Oh yeah, did you see that? It just fell right into place. I'll massage that with a hammer and it'll look good as new. Look at that up in there. I think I'll get it tacked up into place and then we're pretty much done. Perfect. What a disaster. I obviously need to patch that up. But other than that, that's pretty much it. We just have to match it on the other side now, which is probably the hardest part of the whole process, is matching it. But I have all my pieces and I know where I cut everything. That's it. That's all there is. I now have a ton of stuff to weld up on this, but I'm not gonna do it right now. I'm gonna match this other side before I do anything. Guess I'll get cutting. I'll probably just show you a time lapse of all that. Here we go. This is the final piece for the passenger side, and we're gonna see how well it actually fits. Gotta figure out where the bends are. Does that look right?
Sure.
Nice. Get my tacker thing. You wanna push right here with your finger. Might not win any awards, but it sure is working. The side is completely tacked in. I got my driver's side, my passenger side, and I've got my 2 bars for pushing for when I break down. Hopefully we don't have to use those very often, but it's going well. Since Janelle peeled the stickers off, we need to put new ones on, newish ones. I had someone send me some, and they sat in the back of the RUDICON and got kind of messed up, and they'll be fine. They'll be better than what was on there before. We'll just close this all up. I'll see you in the morning. Boom. Good morning, we're back. And today we're gonna be doing a lot of welding, and so there's really no introduction, because I mean, we're finished with everything under here. Aside from how I mounted this, we're gonna make something more permanent for that. But other than that, it's just a lot of welding today, and I'm really excited. Not for the welding part, but for it to be done, and for me to be happy with it. Ugh. Time to get the welding hood on and just burn it all in. All right, so I just barely finished welding this all up. I'm going to now paint it, I guess, because it's bare metal and it will rust extremely fast. I also ground this edge down smooth. It's not perfect, but it doesn't have to be. So we should get this taped off so that we can give it a nice coat of paint, and everything will be good. Try white. If we don't like it, we can do gray. Gotta stand far back with this stuff. I don't know if we tape far enough. Might not be bad. So how long do I wait before I paint again? There it is. Just paint over that rust. It'll all work out. So since we got it painted and it's mostly dry, it's not professional, it's good enough. We're just going to pull this off. See how much I bled. Ugh. Don't look at that drip.
It's not bad.
I believe we forgot to tack and static. That's why it didn't go well. Now for this. Might be tricky. Where are we looking at? Right here? I'm scared. What if it doesn't work? Oh, look, it's working. Oh, those are black. I think it needs a black line above it. Should have gone further back.
Yeah.
And there's overspray everywhere. Alrighty. Doesn't look that bad. I think I still need to push the axle another inch back, but to be honest, I can't believe how good it turned out. Like this outside edge. Couldn't be happier. Don't look at this. I'm not done with that. Not done yet. Obviously we haven't seen how it articulates yet, but it definitely is gonna clear and it opened that up a lot more. But the biggest thing is I don't have dust and mud coming into the cab anymore because it's completely enclosed. to outside again. That's really important for one of my upcoming projects. That should be next week. The RUDICON sticker looks great. I'm experimenting a little bit with the white, not necessarily with the white and the brown, just the white. Let me know what you think of that color with the purple, actually. We'll see what we can do about it. I think it looks really good. I'm really happy with how it turned out. The paint's not perfect, but it doesn't have to be. Until next week, thanks for watching.